hope keepers, living to make a difference. And there's nowhere like this, no, there's nowhere like this. And I love and living local. News 13, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Hey, the schools, and I love and living local. I'm living local and it's everything to me. We are the believers, we are the hope keepers, living to make a difference. And there's nowhere like this, no, there's nowhere like this. And I love and living local. News 13, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Hey, the schools, and I love and living local. I'm living local and it's everything to me. We are the believers, we are the hope keepers, living to make a difference. And there's nowhere like this, no, there's nowhere like this. And I love.
And we are waiting to get that feed up so we can bring that press conference to you from the Bay County Sheriff's Office. But we do know that information so far.
Yeah, there's going to be a representative from Jimmy Petronis, who's the CFO for the state of Florida, as well as somebody from the FBI and, of course, the Sheriff's Department. So we are just waiting right now to get some technical difficulty, a glitch fixed, so we can bring this press conference to you.
Yep.
Taking place up at the Bay County Sheriff's Office. So.
Yes. So we are standing by waiting for that to happen. Again, officials did not specify what they're set to talk about, but we do know that that happened this morning, that arrest was made. So we are standing by to bring you that press conference live. We'll also be bringing this on our My Panhandle mobile app as well as online, so you can tune in if you can't watch it on your television for any reason. But we are just standing by to pick that up.
Yeah, and if you haven't downloaded the app is not only great for purposes such as any kind of live stream that we're taking part in that's not on your regular programming. It's also great. It's got the Viper app on there, and so many benefits that can help you out. So,
yeah, you can also get push alerts there as well.
That's right.
Well, this is Keith Baker's mugshot. He is the commissioner for District 4 of Bay County. He was elected to the Bay County Commission in 2018. He ran unopposed. And before that, he actually worked for the city of Panama City as their leisure services director. And he worked for GAC before that until 2012. But again, if you're just now tuning in, right now, Bay County Commissioner Keith Baker was arrested this morning. Bay County Sheriff's Office hosting a press conference today in just a few minutes. We're trying to get that live to you. We have representatives from the FBI joining them.
Yeah, and according to the records from Bay County Sheriff's Office, Baker's facing charges for bid tampering, falsifying official documents, as well as fraud. So that's one of the things supposed to be talked about during this press conference. We are having a technical difficulty going on. Okay, I believe we do now have it, so let's head up to Bay County Sheriff's Office.
ECS then subcontracted that work to other businesses. Tri-State Climate Solutions, LLC, Greg Wilson Law, LLC, Moran & Sons, LLC, and Russell Endeavors, LLC. During the course of investigating suspected corruption in the city of Lynn Haven, information was developed that revealed that these companies failed to pay workers' compensation, Social Security taxes, or federal income taxes during the time frame in question. Warrants were issued and served today for Keith Baker, age 54, of Panama City, owner of Tri-State Climate Solutions and also a Bay County Commissioner. Greg Wilson, age 48, of Panama City, owner of Greg Wilson Law. Dennis Marin, age 56, of Fountain, owner of Moran & Sons. And John David Russell of Eclectic, Alabama, owner of Russell Endeavors. All three with one pending, have been charged with workers' compensation fraud, which is a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Keith Baker, a Bay County Commissioner, also faces additional charges. Investigators learned during the course of this investigation that during the time that Baker was employed by the city of Panama City as Leisure Services Director, he was involved in rigging a demolition bid in favor of ECS. This was revealed in a series of texts between Baker and ECS. On March 19th, Baker sent a text stating, "I've got a potential demo job for you." He received a response from ECS, "What do you got?" Baker responded, "A building on MLK. What is a typical square foot price without asbestos?" Over the next month, there were several texts between ECS and Keith Baker. Baker relied on ECS to obtain 2 other bids for the demo job on MLK Boulevard. On April 25th, Baker texted ECS, "I've got to get the 3 quotes." 3 hours later, Baker texts, "Need that text." Within minutes, ECS sends 3 bids, with ECS bid the lowest. Greenleaf, $22,500, ECS $15,000, and Precision Construction $25,000. Baker responds, "How about $19,500, $14,750, and $18,000?" Baker directed ECS to lower the amount of all the bids, with ECS to come in at $14,750. This was significant because of a bid of this amount could be approved by Baker alone and did not require Baker to present it before the City Commission for approval. Paperwork on the bids reflecting the lower amounts that Baker dictated was obtained by investigators. Investigators have further documented that the bid supposedly submitted by Precision Contractors was in fact a falsified bid, and the owner of that company had no knowledge it had been submitted under his company's name. Approximately 7 months after this demo job was awarded to ECS, Keith Baker left his position with the City of Panama City and was almost immediately hired by ECS to do trash pickup in and around the city of Lynn Haven. Over the course of his new job, Baker was paid approximately $150,000 by ECS for about 5 to 6 weeks of work. Baker now faces charges of bid tampering and official misconduct. I'd like to thank the agencies involved in the teamwork necessary to root out this corruption in our community. We'll not allow the actions of a few to tarnish the reputation of this great county and all that are doing the right thing. These arrests will be prosecuted by the State Attorney's Office, the 14th and the 2nd Judicial Circuits. CFO Petronas' office was instrumental in this case as well. He was unable to make it today but sent the following statement. Workers' compensation fraud is a serious and costly crime that puts businesses and employees at risk. It is especially alarming when allegedly committed by someone who is charged with upholding the public trust and protecting taxpayer dollars. I'd like to thank the Bay County Sheriff's Office, State Attorney Glenn Hess, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and my dedicated workers' compensation fraud investigators for their diligence in this case and working to bring these individuals to justice. And we appreciate their assistance on this case. I'd now like to introduce Supervisor Special Agent Larry Lynn with the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, can't take a lot of questions because this is an ongoing investigation. Not able to comment on any specifics of our joint investigation. I will say that on behalf of Special Agent in Charge Rachel Rojas and the entire FBI Jacksonville Division, that we are grateful to Sheriff Ford and his entire team of talented investigators here at BCSO for working with us. We want the community to know that we have an open door with these partners, and we are committed to supporting them in any way as they push forward to protect the community. Thank you.
Judge Glenn Hess, State Attorney.
There has been an undercurrent of corruption in Bay County for a long time. The winds of Hurricane Michael laid it out so that it could be seen. Sheriff Ford and his staff of truly fine investigators, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and U.S. Attorney Larry Keith have done yeoman work to see that those who have participated in corrupt and criminal activities are being held accountable, cases are being made, and I think the only thing I can say is, thank goodness it's about time.
Thank you. I'd like to close with thanking everybody involved, our investigators with the Sheriff's Office, our partners with the FBI, the prosecutors with the 2nd and the 14th Circuit, as well as CFO Jimmy Petronas' office. We will not stop until we've rooted out the corruption that's in this community. Our overall investigation is still very active and ongoing. So we appreciate you being here today, and I'll be glad to take some limited questions if you have any.
Did others at the city, Panama City, was there anybody else that knew about this corruption that was going on?
Not to our knowledge at this point.
The work that was done, you know, in the Lynn Haven case, sometimes the work wasn't completed, there never really was any work. The work that was done in this case, was it actually even ever done or completed?
Well, it's all encompassing into what we've already done in Lynn Haven. It was not possible to separate out the work that was done by these groups with what was billed, because all of that billing occurred by ECS. In other words, ECS subcontracted with these groups and submitted those bills to Lynn Haven, would get paid, and then they would pay the subcontractors, being Greg Wilson Law and Tri-State Solutions, as well as Greenleaf and some of the other. So it was, we were not able to, in the federal case, to really narrow down that part of the fraud with these companies. That's not to say that all the work was completed. But
Is it fair to call $150,000 for 6 weeks of work a payoff? Is that what was
I'm not going to answer that question at this point. I mean, there was work done and there was a crew involved in doing that. So, yes.
When did this investigation begin? Because some of this goes back to when he was working with Panama City years ago. Can you comment
So
on it all?
the overall larger investigation, although there have been agencies, including ours in the FBI, that have been monitoring and looking at issues of corruption for quite some time, we began the investigation that led to the indictment of the city manager in Lynn Haven, the leader services director there, as well as the principal of ECS and a couple of his employees. It began after Hurricane Michael as a result of work done during Hurricane Michael. And I can't remember exactly when that, but it seems to be May of 2019, April 2019 time frame.
And can you kind of just comment more generally about the challenges that law enforcement agencies face trying to root out the corruption in cases like this?
Well, they are very challenging cases. They are time-consuming cases, but there's a lot of effort that goes into that, a lot of very detailed review of records and financial analysis and statement and interviews conducted, subpoenas issued for information that sometimes takes a long time to get in. So I know, we had a press conference months ago with Mr. Keefe's office and the work that we've all done together again on that, and I know people have looked at that, and we talked about that being ongoing and additional activity anticipated, and understand frustration at that time, but the system is very meticulous. We try to get things right and do the right thing. So sometimes that does take quite a bit of time, but again, when I say active and ongoing, it certainly is. A lot of resources are being put towards it, and progress is being made. And this is just one example and one step in this investigation.
And when you say active and ongoing, are you looking into Keith Baker's performance now as a county commissioner as well?
We're looking at a lot of things. It's a pretty broad investigation.
What's your message to those who might have been involved but they haven't been charged yet, with any of this kind of activity?
Well, again, as I said at the last conference we had, there may be time for some to change their ways, even time for some people to cooperate with authorities in this matter. For some people, it's too late, and we're, very active and ongoing in the investigative process. But it's something that none of the officials here and other officials in this community are going to tolerate. We have a lot of great public servants. In doing this, we are not casting aspersions on the many great city commissioners and mayors and all public officials. But there are some that have not been doing the right thing, and we seek to expose that and hold them accountable. Okay, thank you.